Hello everybody, this is Train King James here with yet another layout tour. Usually when I do these things every year, it's just a simple layout that I have set up on my table, and it's just simple stuff like that. When I was younger, before I was part of YouTube, I used to do this annual thing where I would do a Christmas layout, and I would build it in our living room, and I would just have it up for a few days. So, up until 2014 I had that tradition, and the 2014 layout is still that one actually made it to this channel. It's been uploaded. But, sadly, after 2014 I had to kind of stop that tradition. So a lot of things had changed in my life. Space was a lot more limited, and I kind of had to stop building layouts. So floor layouts became less of a thing for me, as you know if you've been on my channel for a while. I've been doing sets lately. So in reality now, building floor layouts is more of a privilege, less than actually like a thing that I've done. The last time I've done a floor layout, or at least on my own, I should say, was in 2016, and that layout's up on my channel if you guys want to go click on that one too while you're at it. So, yeah, it's been a while since I've done this. So it's nice to really have a nice return to form, kind of in a sense back to my roots. If you didn't know, I moved this year, and this is my new filming space, of course. My set table is directly behind me. This is the room that I shoot in now. It's a basement, so I have a lot more space. So I figured I'd take advantage this year by shooting a layout video in this room. And I figured what better place to start than right here. So, without further ado, we're going to begin. So we are at Knapford Station, and we have a 6-lane Knapford Station. Something I've been wanting to do on a layout for a very long time. Because as you know, I got the old style Knapford Station last year? I don't remember. It was last year, I think. And then we have, obviously, the newer one that I've had for the longest time in my life. And at Knapford Station, we have from left to right, or right to left, I should say, Gordon, James, Percy, Thomas, Toby, and Emily. Gordon is pulling, sorry, I'm going to try to get a good angle, the Express. James is pulling my custom red coaches. Percy's pulling the mail. Thomas is pulling Annie and Clarabelle. Toby's pulling Henrietta and a custom Victoria that I got recently when I met up with Enterprising Engine. There's no video for that, but if you follow me on Twitter, you would know about it. And that's Emily pulling Old Slow Coach. So, we're going to start on Gordon's track, because, after all, Gordon's on platform number 1. So you're going to come straight down his line, and you reach this Knapford Station signal tower thing. I call it that because the Logan set calls this Knapford Station, and I refuse to refer to it as that. So you come to a switch here. And you're going to follow the switch this way. We get to the other place at the very end. Come to the cargo crane where Boko and Rosie are. There's the hand car and a siding. And they meet at a switch. So if you go up Rosie's line, it goes back through the Knapford signal tower thing and connects to James's line. So Gordon and James's lines basically just meet at the cargo crane, and there's that siding I mentioned earlier. Now, I'm going to backtrack to Knapford so we can cover Thomas and Percy's lines. So Thomas and Percy's lines meet at a V-switch. I typically don't like to do that too much. I like to have the tracks go out a bit, but, I was running out of track at this point. And having 6 tracks go 6 different places from one side to the other of Knapford Station is pretty hard, so I figured I might as well just start kind of like limiting them. So, right off the bat, we have Thomas and Percy's tracks meeting, and they merge at the switch tower. Technically, this is the Glendick switch tower, but it's whatever. I can put it anywhere because I don't have a Scalaway Railway. And that track actually goes up to Toby's line under this over-the-track signal piece, which I got not too long ago. And that meets there. And Also on this layout, you are going to notice a lot of new things, stuff that I got for Christmas and stuff that I haven't really shown off on YouTube yet, like the Victoria. I don't believe I've shown off the over-the-track signal yet, but I may have. But anyway, you go along here, you go to Oliver on a bridge with Toad in my 3 versions of Scruffy. Old style, somewhat new style, and the 2017 release of Scruffy. So they meet, so the line goes here at a double crossover piece, as people like to prefer to this track piece. It's not the official Wooden Rally one, but it works. So I'm going to go straight over the Archstone Bridge to where the fire station is with the fire crew, Belle, Flynn, Captain, and Dustin. If you go along Flynn's line, we reach the Soda Rescue Center. So we've reached the hit something. We've reached the rescue center portion of the island, or the Soda Rescue Center is and stuff like that. So we have a lot of the rescue vehicles in and around the area. So I'm going to continue along Flynn's line. I'm going to go under the Search and Rescue Center into this very big, if I can get an angle, Brenham Docks area. So we have Cranky loading cargo with Salty. He's got the Brenham Fish Market cargo piece. Cranky's got the Brenham Bay Shipping Co. cargo piece. You've got the Soda Bay cargo ship with more cargo for Salty. You continue along Salty's specific line. It goes behind the Brenham Bay Shipping Set Sodor Shipping Co. warehouse piece. Comes around to Den's line. And that goes into the Brenham Bay Shipping Co. warehouse, the other one I have. And you have Den and Dart here by another crane. And they have some generally unusual cargo, but, don't know what's in there. And I'm going to change position. Excuse me. Try to get a better angle of what's here. And if you come out to the other side, it's different. But we have Donald and Douglas here, and they're both pulling fuel tankers. Or I should say, they're both pulling tankers. Donald's pulling the milk, and Douglas is pulling the fuel tankers. And they meet at a switch. So you're going to go along Douglas's line, go to where Dart is. You go through the warehouse this time. You come right past the Soda Bay tugboat, if I didn't mention it before. You go to the rescue center, and then you have on this track a switch. And we're going to go this way first. So you go along here, you pass this little Sodor shipping barge. You go to the lighthouse. There's Bulstrode crossing right now. And there's Murdoch. He's waiting with Rocky. There's Skiff that on the siding that leads straight to the ocean. So you go here, you go to the mountain overpass where Lorry 1 is. Come around. There's Trevor with Bluebell and her calf. They're just in the field. The cow in the line pack is something new I got recently. Hit something. You come through another overpass piece and you arrive at Wellsworth Station where Edward is relaxing. Right now he's picking up the Solar Brass Band, and sly reference to Edward's brass band. There's Caroline. You have this house over here. Not really particular on who it belongs to. And you have this signal box here, and that leads to this switch, which if you go this line, it goes to Belle's line, and that switch goes to where Dustin is pulling the his accessory bag, which has like a lot of the winter supplies for the rescue center. So if I zoom out for a quick second, this whole area is kind of like this giant loop like thing. It's kind of like these tracks deviate and meet back around. You can either go along here to Wellsworth. It's almost like Edward's branch line, and then you can just come around here from the rescue center. You come to a signal here, and you come to here, and there is one of the Ironworks twins. I forget which, because I can't tell them apart. It is Bert. My bad. It's Bert on this side. Aries over here. We're going to get to him in a sec. So Bert is at the scrapyard area. There's the scrap lorry, because it's not the scrapyard, but that scrap lorry. You've got Reg in the back, and you've got a lot of the pieces from his set here. And you've got the Ironworks for Ari and Bird, of course, so they're helping Reg out today, and they're handling Sodor scrap. So if you continue, you reach the coal station, where you have Whiff, Scruff, and Logan working together. I don't really have like a garbage yard themed section of the island, so Whiff and Scruff are pretty okay with getting dirty at the coal station. So that leads to a switch. You go back here. There's Logan's line. Goes into the coal loader from the Logan set. There's the coal station. There's a little basket back there with some coal in it, I should say, or bin, I should say. Comes along here to a switch, and you go onto Aries line by the ironworks, and it leads right back to the double crossover piece. So we're going to go this way at the double crossover piece. There's a signal, by the way. To Tidmouth Sheds, which is currently being invaded by the foreign engines, as we have several engines from several countries, mostly British engines though, but several engines, and Winston, who is still decked out in his holiday decor from my recent remake. So we have the Flying Scotsman, we have Big City Engine, Vinny, Ishima, Frida, Stepney, Spencer, and my custom Green Arrow. We have Kelly over here in the field. If I go along Winston's line, it connects to this small four-way crossing. And if you go this way, you go to where Duck is at Tidmouth Station. And there's Bulgy beside him. And you go through the mountain tunnel, you come out, and that connects to Emily's line, which this line comes back around through the over-the-track signal, comes to this T-switch, which connects to Tidmouth Sheds. Now I'm going to get over there in a second, but we're going to come back here to cover this one small portion where Gator is. There's another signal. It's going to come back around where he's pulling some trucks, and that connects to the switch, which connects to the ironworks. Alright. I think now we can cover Harvey's line. So I'm going to jump onto Harvey's line. So Harvey is pulling the breakdown train. He's right by the water tower right now. You go up the hill, up Gordon's Hill I should say, or the mountain tunnel, whatever you want to call it. I like to call it Gordon's Hill. There's Coley pushing Catherine, and you come down this hill, and you reach Hank at the log loader, and he's pulling a single log car. And that connects to a couple of switches here, where Bash and Dash are pushing log cars. These are my Brio lumber loading wagons, and they are at the sawmill. So you've reached the logging section of the layout. Now, this layout has a lot of big spaces. It's just, being able to film while sitting in them sometimes is a little difficult. Here we go. So you continue along that line, reach this switch, which obviously this connects to Bash's line, and that switch goes to Dash's line, the sawmill. So this switch connects here, where Steven is pulling the castle coaches at Ulfstead Station. So because we've arrived at Ulfstead Station, it only makes sense that we've reached Ulfstead Castle. So we go to Steven's line, it goes to this switch, we'll go in this direction in a second, but it goes under Ulfstead Castle, through here, and you come out on this lower track, which this piece is a nice piece because you can either go up to this level, or you can go down to this level, depending on what you want to do at the point in time. But either way, it leads out to where the Soto Railway Repair is, at a new destination that I got for Christmas. Oop, hit something. The four-way crossing, or as other people like to call it, the Switchyard. I don't really like the name of the Switchyard because it's not really like a switchyard per se, it's just a crossing per se. Or it's going 4 different directions per se. But anyway. So you have the Soda Railway Repair right there. And we go this way, you go into Hero's line where he's pulling some boxcars, which reaches a 3-way switch. And we're gonna go on this line. And this connects to Ellsbridge Station, where Daisy, Flora, and Birdie are. Oh, there's Patrick over there. If I didn't talk about it before, I don't think I did. You go under the pedestrian bridge when you come to a switch which leads to a shed where Splatter and Dodge is sitting. That's on Splatter's line. You come to this way on the switch, reaches Samson. You go up to where Millie is at Allstate Castle, and there's Thomas again. He's pulling the Santa's little engine pack. Yeah, he's pulling that. And you can come down and connect to where the soda rail repair was. Hold on 1 second, knock something over again. It's kind of hard to move on layouts. You come down, and this reaches the same track below where Stephen was, and there's Class 240, and there's D199, and they're talking, probably skiing. He's sitting in the Timoth covered bridge. There's the windmill. It goes to a straight track back there where there's a switch. Let me change this position now, try to get closer. So that goes, if you go this way on the switch, it goes to Shiningtide Station. There's Burnett Stone's house. There's Diesel 10 and Lady, and they're about to duke it out. This goes over Buffalo Mountain. That reaches a switch, which connects back to Gordon's line at Knapford. We're going to go this way in a sec. But I'm going to show you a pretty cool section of the layout where you can go underneath this really cool three-layered, sorry, can't talk right now, 3-layered stacking overhead risers section. So you have like 3 different layers that all connect back to Henry's Tunnel. So if you follow the switch, go along here to where most of my grave faces are, or 4 of them are, and there's Ryan pulling them. And it goes up to where Sydney is and connects to Percy's line at Knapford. So we're going to jump to, going to move again. This section's a little tight, so it's hard to maneuver with it. Just a bit. There we go. So we're going to go to where Norman is, and his line connects to where James was at Knapford. And you go through, there's Molly. You come around, she's pulling the Sodor cookie cars and the Sodor bakery delivery, and connects to where Connor and Caitlin are on the double wide alarm bridge. Molly's on Caitlin's line, and Caitlin's pulling 3 out of 6 Orbeon coaches. I got 3 more for Christmas, and her line connects to Stephen at Allstate Station. You go into Paxton's line. Paxton connects, goes up to the highest layer where another Thomas is pulling all of my day out with Thomas items. Comes down to the suspension bridge, and we meet Arthur, who's pulling. He is pulling my tar tankers. That connects to the Soto Lumber Co. building. I decided not to make it Marin right now because it's so close to Olstead. If you go this way on the switch, it connects back to that intersection where Duck and Gator are, and goes over the elevated crossing. If we go this way, it connects to where Diesel is, and he's talking right now with Hero, Soda Road Repair, and Neil. And he's at the oil derrick with an oil tanker. So if you go to Neil's line, we reach the Lux Railway crossing. There's George. Goes through the coal station on Scruff's line. Comes to the highway crossing. And then we go up to the elevated crossing where Sam is currently waiting. And he's got a massive, if I can zoom in, goods train right now. He's got about 11 cars, and that connects to Thomas's, ooh, lost focus. And that connects to Thomas's line all the way at Knapford. Or you can go on the switch that Sam is currently on. You go through the sawmill where Ferdinand's at. You've got Connor right there. Connects to Philip, who's pulling the bubblesome trucks. And there's a crossing right there where Sam's goods train is currently blocking his path. And it connects to Toby's line at Knapford. And let's see. I'm going to backtrack for a second to this 3-way switch. And we're going to briefly go on to the middle line where Flora is. She's right by the water refilling tank. Under the pedestrian bridge again, there's another house. And there's Dodge in the shed at that switch. You come to the turntable piece from the Logan set. There's Marion. There's Wilbur pulling the Chinese dragon, and it reaches the transfer table. So, we're going to jump to this line, and come back down. There's Neville at the chocolate factory, and it reaches a switch in which you can reach the yard. So right now at the yard we have Bill and Ben, each with one China clay car. And then there's two special entry sheds, and if you venture further into the yard, you reach the yard shunters, where Charlie, Stafford, and Stanley are. Stanley's at the barrel loader. Stafford is pulling a troublesome van, I should say, not troublesome brake van. A custom one from here at the Japanese train. And Charlie's pulling my other custom troublesome van that I made that's currently direct. There we go. So, there's Nelson right over there. So I'm going to move back towards transfer table to cover some of the last sections of the layout. So, we go to this way of the transfer table, continuing off of Neville's line. You reach a T-switch. There's Fergus with the construction cars. We're going to go this way right now. We reach the farm, and there's Dennis pulling a barrel car with the dairy farm, something I got recently, and the flour barrel car, which goes with Toby's Windmill, which is also over there. There's Terrence, my Brio Terrence, and we have Trevor and Bluebell and a calf. There's the James Goes Buzz Buzz house, so this is like the vicarage orchard / farm area of the layout. We come back to a new thing that I haven't really done on my layouts before. There's a road section with another new item. This is my most recent addition, is Lorry 3. So here's Lorry 3, he's at a rail crossing, he's right by the flour mill because he was the lorry at the flour mill. So we're going to do the road section, so I'm going to jump to the end of it. It's just a simple little curve area that goes around the yard. There's the railway crossing sign called the warning road vehicles that there's a crossing ahead. You go up, there's Madge and Duncan as reference to cool truckings. There's a Thomas Lost at Sea sitting in the ocean over there. There's Lorry 1 again at the mountain overpass. You go under this piece from the Merrick set, and you reach the Blue Mountain Quarry / generic island quarry section again. I just kind of used all of my quarry pieces here, so because of that there's a lot of quarry engines in and around the area. So of course you have Merrick, and at the end of the road you've got Alfie, you've got Byron, Jack, and Thumper. And if you go back to the transfer table, you go this way, there's Timothy with the Rock Crusher piece from the Merrick set. There's a sign. Go this way, there's Mavis with the Rock Crusher cars. There's Boulder, and that connects back to Donald and Douglas. If you jump back to Fergus's line, you go back up, all the way to the top of this mountain piece where Luke is, with a Blue Mountain Quarry car. There's Thomas over there, the Lost at Sea Thomas, if I didn't point that out before. You go up through this upper level of this piece that I got from Mattel. It's like half the Brendan warehouse and half Blue Mountain Quarry. You go to where Derek is, and there is the Brendan Bay shipping set, main part of the set. The Porter is there with some vans. You go through the rescue center, follow along the track to another new destination that I got, is the airfield. With Tiger Moth, there's Hugo, there's Harold, and the airship hangar. And that connects back to where we were with Boko, Rosie, and the handcar. So, before I wrap up this layout video, there's just one tiny section I want to go over. And that is something that I got for Christmas this year that was pretty cool find I found on eBay. That I was very lucky to win. So, I'm going to go back to this switch. And I'm going to zoom out to show you what it is. So this is not like just some random piece I built onto the layout. This is actually a wooden railway set. And if you basically were to separate the switch from that piece over there and move it over, this is an actual licensed wooden railway set. This is the 22-piece starter set from 1992. It is a very rare set to find, and I managed to find the pieces, pretty much all of it. There's the original 1992 special engine shed, now being my 5th special engine shed. You saw 2 at Tidmouth sheds, and if I can zoom in, the other 2 are at the yards. And it came in this lot basically, of some other stuff. And it came with this 1992 Thomas, the 5th Thomas on this layout. And my 5th gray face. This is a 1992 gray face. Now this wasn't originally part of the 22-piece starter set, but it came with these 92 alien Clarabelles, which this version of Clarabelle is an actual rare version of Clarabelle. This is just a 1992 80. I noticed that they are much taller than other alien Clarabelle versions, which is really interesting to note. But anyway, that's the 22-piece starter set. It's a rare piece. I have the other pieces from it. I just didn't really want to display on the set because it's very hard to get those figurines to stand and stuff. But overall, it's pretty nice to have found the 22-piece starter set. And that's pretty much the layout. So I'm going to give you one last overview as everybody else does. I don't think I skipped any sections. I hope I didn't. If I did, yell at me in the comments. This is a pretty big layout. It's definitely one of my favorites that I've built. I definitely got to try some new techniques like what I did over here with the Henry's Tunnel and going through the different tracks. You know, working with like the Switchyard, all these other cool places and stuff. And something you may notice, there are 1, 2, can't quite see it at this angle, but 3, 4, 5 Thomases on this layout. And this is to celebrate 5 years of my channel. Now I have a special video planned for that. I hope you guys do check it out. And it doesn't feel like I've been around for 5 years, but you know, just if you saw my videos back in 2014 and what my collection was like back then, comparing it to now, it's grown a lot. And I'm really proud of how much I've amassed over the years. Like, just being on YouTube, like, entire sections of this layout would not have been built back in 2014. And it's just, now to see where I am now with my collection, how big everything is, and how expansive. I'm really proud to have made it this far. I'm proud to have made it this far on YouTube. I'm getting very close to 2,000 subs. I'm getting close to, you know, hitting really high milestones on YouTube, places that other people, you know, have been in the community longer, have only recently hit themselves. And I'm really happy to have all of you guys as fans. I'm really happy for all the support. 2018 was definitely a good year for me overall in the community. A lot's happened and I really enjoyed it. So, this is Train King James signing off, and here's to 2019. See you later, guys.